President Trump arriving in Qatar for the next leg of his Middle Eastern trip. Dan Murphy joins us now from Doha. Good morning.
Andrew, good morning to you. Well, we are now seeing these live pictures coming into the newsroom here. President Trump arriving in the Qatari capital. This is the second stop on his three-nation Gulf tour, all part of this administration's efforts to enhance foreign policy ties, build out economic relationships, and, of course, drum up investment deals with the Gulf. Now, just by way of background here, this is quite a history-making moment. The last time we saw a U.S. president, a sitting U.S. president, actually touching down on the ground here in Doha was all the way back in 2003. That was when George W. Bush was in power. He came to thank the Qataris for their mediation efforts and their work on diplomacy just after the start of the war on terror. Fast forward to today, and while the characters have changed, the story remains largely the same here. Qatar is today still a very critical partner of the United States when it comes to not just defense, but also diplomacy. And increasingly, as we see the president arriving very shortly, what we are going to see is more investment deals from this country as well. Of course, he has come out of what was a very optically successful visit to Riyadh, drumming up some $600 billion worth of investment deals with the Saudis. That, of course, includes a $142 billion defense pact as well. We are likely to see more deals being signed. What we're seeing right now is President Donald Trump just walking down the steps of Air Force One and, of course, meeting the Qatari Emir as well as other senior Qatari officials. So this trip now very firmly underway. In terms of what we can expect on the investment side, obviously a core focus for the administration here, we have been told to keep a lookout for what could be a $2 billion defense pact as well, with the Qataris on the ground here, and of course what could also be significant private deals getting underway as well. Chief among them would potentially be an order for more Boeing aircraft, of course, quite a hot topic at the moment. As you know, the airline operator here has been trying to actively source those Boeing planes. Boeing, we know, has significant supply chain issues at the moment. So what that order might look like remains to be seen at this point. At a more broader level, though, we are also looking out for President Trump's visit to one of the most important strategic military assets on the grounds here in Qatar as well. Qatar is home to more than 10,000 U.S. troops and those Americans serving in the U.S. Defense Forces. He's going to be touring that military base on the ground here as well. And all of this also taking place right before we see the president moving over to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, where this push for diplomacy, the push to enhance foreign policy, and the push to drum up investment deals is only likely to continue. So just to repeat here, the president now entering the beast here, getting ready to make his way to that bilateral with the Qatari Emir, where the conversation on the ground in the Gulf is set to continue. Guys, back over to you.
Hey, Dan, one question for you, which is obviously there's this big debate in the United States about this gift that the country may give to the United States, or rather to the president, in the form of an airplane for Air Force One. There's been a lot of controversy here in the U.S. A number of senators, including Ted Cruz on our broadcast, raising questions about national security, others who don't like the look of it, others who think it's very valuable. By the way, Bill Ackman, interestingly, raising the question on Twitter this morning about what's the difference between Qatar giving money or giving a plane, a $400 million plane, versus giving money to universities in the United States. Then some other people reacting and saying the universities are private institutions. This is being given to the president. What is the reaction to all of that back there?
Well, you know, Andrew, this is so interesting. I was actually speaking with quite a senior Qatari government official, not just this morning, but also last night over a meal over this. And the reaction on the ground here has been one of surprise. While in the United States, of course, this has raised a lot of ethics, even legal concerns and considerations. The Qataris say they were just acting according to what they see as good foreign policy and good statecraft here. They recognize that the United States has a problem. The president needs a new plane. The Qataris had a plane that they could give him. Boeing can't deliver the new Air Force One, so they were just connecting the dots here. Of course, how this ultimately lands on the ground in the U.S. is still really remains to be seen at this point. But the Qataris, for their part, were just saying, look, we were attempting to address a problem here that the U.S. president had.